If you think card making is expensive and complicated, this video might just change your mind, because today I'm breaking down the very basic supplies that you need to make beautiful handmade cards without spending a fortune and without filling your house full of crafting supplies. I'm going to break down the core supplies that you need to get started, what's necessary, what's optional, and what you can skip for now. So let's jump in. The first thing that I want to talk to you about is the 4 things that I think are necessary for making beautiful handmade cards. First up is paper, or as it's often referred to, cardstock. This is the most important thing that you need for making cards. Obviously, this isn't groundbreaking news, I know. There's lots of different types of paper though. First, you want to invest in a good white cardstock. This is a must. This is the base of your card and often an accent color as well. If you buy nothing else, you need to buy white cardstock. Then you can add colored cardstock. You can either buy 8.5 by 11 sheets or 12 by 12 sheets, whichever works for you. And then finally, there's paper pads that you can buy. These are amazing because every page in this book matches, so it makes picking out paper very easy. Additionally, these paper pads have sentiments included that you can use as sentiments at the front of your card or add as embellishments on the outside of your card. Next on our list is a paper cutter. This is a really important tool, and there's a few things that I want to point out about using a paper cutter that's really important. The one that I bought's not the greatest because it's a little bit too small. You really want to make sure that your paper cutter is big enough to cut an 8.5 piece of cardstock in half, both the width-wise and height-wise. So you want to have your paper cutter be at least 5.5 inches wide. This will allow you to easily cut an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. If you cut this sheet in half either way, it will give you a perfect size card times 2. This is probably the tool that I use the most. The one nice thing about this is that you can get replaceable blades on them, so you don't need to buy a new one each time. And also, you can have some that have a scoring tool in them, which allows you to make folds in your paper in straight lines very quickly. Number 3 on the list, scissors. Now, you don't need to buy expensive scissors or fancy scissors. Any scissors will work to get started. As you get better, you'll notice that you might want to have smaller scissors for better precision cutting, or for fussy cutting as it's called. Or you might like to have scissors that have jagged edges on them to give you a nice patterned cut when you're cutting. You don't need to buy new scissors. There's lots of different types of scissors. Small scissors are good for precision cutting. If you do a lot of fussy cutting, you can buy scissors that are spring loaded so that it helps the cutting motion so that you don't have to use as much pressure with your hands. But for now, use what you have. Any scissors will work. And finally, number 4 on the must-have is glue. There's lots of different types of glue. I personally like to use crafting glue, but if you don't have that and you don't have the money to spend on expensive crafting glue, regular glue will work. The one thing that you can do with glue is buy these little plastic vials which help you put the glue out in small amounts. Glue actually goes very far and you don't need a lot to use. So these little bottles are great to use. You can fill them up with either your crafting glue or just your standard white glue and pour out small little dabs of glue as needed. And then just make sure to put the cap on top of the glue again later so that the glue doesn't dry in the pinpoint. What type of glue do you use? Do you use crafting glue? Do you use regular glue? Or do you go all out and just use a glue stick? Let me know in the comments. All right, so now that we've gone over the must-haves, let's go over some of the optional items. And although I say some of these are optional, they might just become necessary for you once you get started. The first item that I say is optional is your ruler. This is great for making sure that your lines are straight, for helping you sketch onto your cards if you need to put light lines on it, to help you fold, and any other thing that you could think of. This is a very handy tool to have, and conveniently enough, most people have them just lying around the house. The next optional tool I have is the scoring stylus. This is basically a pen that doesn't write. It puts marks into your page. And I find that this works fantastically with my ruler. These are great to have together to help you make cards, to help make perfect fold lines every time. You don't need to have a scoring stylus. You can use the tip of a dead pen, you can use a credit card, anything that's sharp, just to help you make your straight lines visible and easy for folding. This next optional item is a really nice to have. You don't need to have a big working area, but having a mat to put down on your workspace really helps keep things neat and clean in your other spaces. I started off using a small self-healing mat, and over time I've increased sizes. There are lots of different types of work areas that you can purchase. You can buy glass mats or self-healing mats, all sorts of different shapes and sizes. But if you're just starting out, getting a small one that's about 18 inches by 12 inches is a perfect size. It can fit into a drawer or get tucked away nicely, and it really does help keep your mess contained. The next optional tool that I'm going to discuss is a bit of a big one, but surprisingly enough, most people already have it in their house. It's your printer. This is an amazing tool to use because you can print off an abundance of designs or sentiments and then simply cut them out with your paper cutter or with your scissors. And they're amazing to add onto the front of your card or onto the inside of your card and make it look very professional very easily. The final optional item I want to talk about is double-sided foam tape. This is basically thick tape that elevates any sentiments that you want to add onto your card or images. So instead of using glue, you would use double-sided foam tape. This is fantastic. I buy these little sheets where you have these nice pieces that come off in long strips. You can buy them in rolls that are thicker. You can buy them in dots. There's lots of different varieties of all of these items. But this is a really nice tool to use to help accent your cards and really make them pop. All right, so now that we've gone through the must-haves and the optional items that I think you need to make beautiful handmade cards, let's talk about the things that you do not need right now. And these are cutting machines. There is an abundance of cutting machines. There's die cutting machines, there's manual, there's electronic, there's smart versions of them, there's Cricuts, there's Silhouettes, there is Sizzix, there's Cuddlebugs, there's all sorts of different types of machines that you can buy that will actually help you make beautiful cards. And they will. I'm not going to deny this. I own some cutting machines myself, but I very seldomly use them to make cards. They are big, they require lots of space and time to use, and they're expensive. So if you're just starting to make cards, don't go out and buy all this fancy equipment. Try making basic cards with basic supplies and see what beautiful cards that you can make, because you'll be really surprised with what you can pull off with just a few simple supplies. And there you have it. Those are the basic tools and supplies that you need to get started making beautiful handmade cards. Your first cards might not feel amazing to you, but don't get discouraged if it doesn't. New skills take time to learn. And crafting is supposed to be fun, not stressful. So don't forget that you're your own worst critic, because the people who receive these cards, they are going to love them. I promise you. And if you don't believe me, if you don't believe that you can make amazing cards with just these few supplies, check out this video where I go over how to make beautiful cards with just these supplies that I've listed in this video. So before we go, tell me in the comments, where are you in your card making journey? Are you just a beginner or are you more advanced? And was this video even helpful for you? I hope this helped you realize that you can make beautiful crafts with not very many supplies. If you're learning to craft one simple craft at a time, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much for crafting with me, and I hope to see you in the next video. Happy crafting!